Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into blustery Milford High School as Milford TV is once again happy to bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics. Tim Coed on the call. I'll be joined by Anthony Mazzini in just a few short minutes as we get ready to bring you some Davenport Division action today as your Lady Scarlet Hawks get set to take on the visiting Canton Lady Bulldogs. And it has been a couple of weeks since we've had a chance to see the softball team in action, Mother Nature doing her part in causing the schedule to get a little bit messed up here in the second half of the year. We have not seen the team since the midway point in the season, and right now it has really been a tale of two halves of the season for this Lady Hawks team. Through their first 10 games, everything was going in the right direction. A 9-1 overall record and even 100 runs scored in those 10 games, just 21 runs allowed. Good for a 2.1 per game average. And this team looked like it was set to steamroll their way into the playoffs and capture a very high seed in the Division I South bracket. But it's been another story over the course of the second half of the season so far. Over the last 5 games for the Lady Hawks, just a 2-3 overall record. They've had some tough losses in the mix there, including a mercy rule defeat to King Philip just a couple of weeks ago, a 12-0 loss in 6 innings where the defense really let Milford down at times in that game, and the pitching just came up short against a very talented King Philip team. And in their most recent contest, a game on the road against Franklin, a disappointing loss there as well. 5-4 the final score. Milford opened up a 3-0 lead in that game, but they could not make it stand up, and ultimately the Lady Panthers were able to walk away with a victory. Also a loss to North Attleboro mixed in there as well. So it has been a difficult stretch, certainly the most difficult stretch of the season for this Milford team. All 5 of those games so far in the second half of the season have come on the road, and certainly to tough competition. And again, with the rain mixed in as well, it's been tough for this team to really settle into a groove after they were so rock solid through that first half of the season. But the big picture is still looking good for this team. Well on their way to another postseason appearance, well on their way to another Davenport Division title, but they will look to gain some momentum back as they head into these final days before the playoff seedings are decided. And a good matchup for Milford here this afternoon, taking on the Canton Bulldogs. It has unfortunately been a very difficult season for the Lady Bulldogs. They come into this matchup winless so far on the season. Just a very tough trip through their Davenport Division schedule this season. Overall on the season, an 0-14 overall record, 0-12 within league play, and just 38 total runs scored so far on the season for Canton. So their offense has had a hard time putting up runs against all of the tough pitching up and down the Hockomock League. So Milford hopes that getting back on the home field is just what they need to get back in the win column. As again, Milford will take on Canton. We will have the starting lineups and the game's first pitch coming up next here on Milford TV. And welcome back inside the softball field at Milford High School, getting set for this Davenport Division competition between Milford and Canton. Before we see the first pitch, we will bring you the starting lineups for these two teams, beginning with the Canton Lady Bulldogs. Leading it off and playing third base is Rachel Dooley. The designated player Caitlin McCarthy bats second, with the first baseman Gabby Matthews hitting third. In the cleanup spot is the second baseman Colleen Phelan, with the shortstop Hannah Jerrier batting fifth. The catcher Julia Ezepik bats sixth, with Effie O'Mahony, the right fielder, batting seventh. Molly Lowren, the left fielder, bats eighth, and batting ninth and pitching today is Caitlin Cahill. Flexed out of the lineup, only playing defensively, is the center fielder Lillian Carrington. And for the Milford Lady Scarlet Hawks, their lineup looks like this. Just a couple of minor tweaks to the lineup. Coming off of that tough loss to Franklin, Kate Irwin back in the leadoff spot. She plays left field, with the second baseman Emily Pierre-Gustavo hitting second. Jess Tomaso moved up to the 3 spot. She plays first base, with Maggie Farrell in the cleanup spot. She plays center field. Caitlin DeCapua, the third baseman, bats fifth, with Meg Jakes, the catcher, batting sixth. Jill Powers plays shortstop and bats seventh, with Maddie Bonvino in as the designated player, batting eighth. And batting ninth, playing right field, is Shannon Cormier. And again, your pitching matchup, Caitlin Cahill in the pitcher circle for Canton, and out there completing her warm-up tosses right now for the Lady Hawks is the junior Allie Atherton. And I would like to welcome in my color commentator for the game this afternoon, back from a successful freshman year at Syracuse University, Anthony Mazzini. Anthony, welcome back to Milford TV.
Thank you. It's great to be back, and I'd like to thank you and the rest of Milford TV for having me back. It's always good to get the experience. I was telling you at the beginning, don't get many reps my first year in college. It's more of the general ed classes, so it's good to get back out here in Milford. Good to see some competitive Milford Scarlet Hawks softball, and I look forward to doing a great game here this afternoon.
Well, it should be a fun one. Just about ready to get started. All things considered, decent weather for the game here today. A little bit cool at field level. A very strong breeze blowing from right to left across the field, but blue skies overhead, plenty of sunshine. And ready to see Milford take on Canton. Allie Atherton ready to go as she steps on top of the pitching rubber. As digging in the batter's box is Rachel Dooley. Atherton into her windup, and the first pitch is rifled foul over towards the first base dugout. No balls and 1 strike to the first Canton batter of the game. The next pitch in, this one popped foul. Hits off the side of the backstop, and it is a no ball and 2 strike count.
Good to see Canton coming out early, swinging the bats. You got to figure those first couple pitches of the game are going to be a fastball, and Canton's doing a great job here.
0-2 on the right-handed batting Dooley. The next pitch on the way, and it's popped up again, foul, and once again out of play.
Three good swings. She's just missed each pitch.
Stays an 0-2 count. The windup and the pitch. Trying to get Dooley to chase. Atherton sends that one too far outside. And now a 1 ball and 2 strike count. This Milford pitching staff looking to settle back into a groove. Really, this team as a whole trying to settle back into a groove for the stretch run on the regular season. That pitch in on the inside corner for a called strike 3.
Looks like Allie Atherton took a little bit of speed off of that pitch.
Atherton coming into the game today with a 2.94 ERA. This is her 10th start of the season. Coming into this afternoon, she had pitched 47 2/3 innings. The pitch in for a strike to Caitlin McCarthy, the designated player, a lefty bat. The 0-1. The slash hitter takes it this time, takes it for a ball. Atherton's allowed 20 earned runs on the season. She has 8 walks to 59 strikeouts. Here's the pitch, making contact that time, but the ball is dribbled foul wide of third base, and the count goes to 1-2. The first inning always seems to be the crucial one for Allie Atherton. Trying to settle in, get comfortable with her arsenal of pitches. Here's the 1-2. This is slapped over to the left side of the infield, but a bobble at shortstop by Jill Powers, and that will allow McCarthy to reach.
Yeah, that ball with the slap hit over towards the left side of the infield. Looks like it had a little bit of spin on it. Came off the end of the bat, and it was unable to be handled by Powers at shortstop.
Would have been a tough play at first base anyway, as that was slow developing. And a big swing and a miss as the runner takes off for second. The throw one hops the bag, and in safely with the steal is Caitlin McCarthy.
A little bit of a miscommunication between the middle infielders there. Between Pierre Gustavo and Powers. Unsure of who was supposed to be covering second. Looks like the runner was going to be in there anyway, though.
The pitch was a strike, so it's an 0-1 count. And now a wave and a miss. Matthews late on those first 2 pitches from Atherton. Gabby Matthews, the first baseman. And now she's down in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. A runner in scoring position with 1 down for Canton. Here's the pitch, and that just misses.
Very close. Good pitch by Atherton there. Just outside enough. Made the batter think about it if she chased.
It's where you want to put it when you're ahead in the count. Now here's the 1-2. This is up the middle, stabbed on the way by Atherton. She fires to first to get the out there. Moving on to third was McCarthy, with now 2 outs in the inning.
Great play, great reaction by Atherton. However, if she looked over towards third base, she had the runner between second and third caught up. She might have had a play there, but she went the safe route, got the out.
So a chance to get out of the inning, although Canton does have the first potential run of the day now at third base, ahead of Colleen Phelan, their cleanup hitter. A good fastball from Atherton and a swinging strike. That wind continues to howl at a pretty steady clip across the field.
I wonder if that will play a factor on fly balls. It's kind of twirling, you don't know which way it's going to go. Put something in the air, it could cause havoc.
The 1-1 pitch popped up foul up over the backstop. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the inning. A runner at third for Canton. And Atherton looking to strand that runner there at third base. Back up on the pitching rubber. She winds and fires. The pitch is outside. It glances off the glove of Meg Jakes, but no advance for the runner.
Good hustle by Jakes there. Got away from her briefly, but she was able to get out of her crouch and track that ball down before the runner could come home. And good job of Atherton covering home plate.
So break there as the runner did not even try to score. It's now a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Here's the pitch. And it's a soft floater out towards first base, gathered in by Tomaso. She applies the tag to the runner herself for the out that ends the inning. So Canton does indeed strand that runner at third base. And the error at shortstop proves to be harmless in the inning. We've played half an inning from the Milford High School softball field. Scoreless. Milford will take their first swings of the game next here on Milford TV. Bottom of the first inning from Milford, Kate Irwin, Emily Pierre-Gustavo, and Jess Tomaso due up against the starting pitcher for Canton, Caitlin Cahill, who quickly fires in the first pitch of the inning outside for ball 1. Here's the 1-0 pitch now, and that misses outside and low. Kate Irwin batting .447 on the season, a .490 on base percentage. She has 21 hits on the year. Ahead in the count now, 3 balls and no strikes. She has worked 4 walks so far on the season. She scored 21 runs. Thought she had ball 4 there, but gets the bad news from the home plate ump and will pick the bat back up. The righty Cahill fires, and that time Irwin offering at the pitch, but missing, and now the count runs full. Plenty of chatter as usual coming out of the Milford dugout. Here's the payoff pitch. It's a tapper out towards second base. Here's the throw over to first, and it gets there in time. Good hands at second base by Colleen Phelan. Very little reaction time with Kate Irwin running down the line, but she was able to get the ball there in time.
Yeah, it wasn't hit hard at all. Good speed by Irwin. Just barely got the out at first, but it still counts.
4-3 on the ground out, and now here's Emily Pierre-Gustavo. She rips a pitch down the third base line, but just foul. Emily Pierre-Gustavo still among the league leaders in batting average in the Hawk, but that average has come down just a bit. Granted, that's from an over 700 batting average through the first half of the season, now still batting an incredible .580.
Doesn't get much better than that.
An on base of .607, slugging .860. She has 6 doubles, a triple, 2 home runs, and 23 runs batted in on the year. Takes a strike to fall behind in the count, 1-2. The windup and the pitch. Hit on the ground to shortstop, reeled in by Hannah Jerrier. The throw to first, there in time.
She hit that one hard, but unfortunately it was right at the shortstop. She got down the line well. Another close play.
And now here is Jess Tomaso. We see the 3 and 4 hitters in this Milford lineup flip-flopped from their configuration through the majority of the first half of this season. We had typically seen Maggie Farrell in the 3 spot with Tomaso hitting cleanup. Today it is the reverse. A first pitch strike into Tomaso from Caitlin Cahill. She golfs a pitch foul, narrowly missing our camera down the left field line. Rob O'Keefe manning that camera. Got a full crew for the game here this afternoon. Tim Raciti, our director, our camera operators, Rob O'Keefe and Malcolm Zale. And Tim Coet and Anthony Mazzini on the call. Here's the 0-2 pitch into Tomaso. Able to lay off that high pitch.
And you mentioned the flip-flop between Farrell and Tomaso today. You can't really go wrong with either girl in the middle of your lineup. Of course, Tomaso leading in the home runs with 5. But of course, Farrell with 28 RBIs on the year.
That pitch bounced in a good ways in front of the plate from Cahill. And the count now evens at 2 as the cloud cover drifts in front of the sun. The entire field now covered in shadow as another pitch misses from Cahill. So the scoreboard all filled up. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Tomaso looking to extend the inning. Here's the pitch, and it's a line drive down the left field line, but again, foul. And again, that sharp breeze blowing from right to left. No doubt pushing that ball a little bit further into foul territory. Cahill sets, here's the pitch, and it's low for ball 4. So Tomaso from down 0-2, she's able to work her way back in and eventually work the 2-out walk. That keeps the inning alive for Maggie Farrell. Maggie sets up shop on the left side, swings at the first pitch, hits it hard up the middle. That's through for a base hit. Tomaso hits second base and moves on to third. She will be held there as the throw comes back into the shortstop. The first hit of the day for Milford. And all of a sudden now the Lady Hawks have runners at the corners and 2 outs for Caitlin DeCapua.
Great base running by Tomaso, being able to go from first to third on that hit up the middle by Farrell.
Now DeCapua swings at the first pitch and she hits it up the middle for a base hit. Around to score comes Tomaso. Moving first to third is Farrell, and RBI for Caitlin DeCapua as Milford is able to strike for some 2-out magic. They take a 1-0 lead.
Tomaso getting the third on that previous play is even more important now with the hit up to middle by DeCapua. If she was still on second base, there was no guarantee she could score, but coming from third, it was pretty much a guarantee.
Now a chance for Meg Jakes to take in at bat here in the first inning. Starting off ahead in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. And you can really see now the infield dirt just swirling across the field. Just a very strong breeze to contend with. It's been like that really all day here in Milford, and no doubt will continue for the duration of this game. Here's the 2-0 pitch. She took something off that one, but missed outside. 3-0 the count. Cahill got the first 2 outs in this inning quickly, but then gave up the 2-out walk to Tomaso, and that has started this Milford rally. Now that pitch inside and a 4-pitch walk to Meg Jakes. And that's going to load up the bases for the captain, Jill Powers. The captain's batting back-to-back in the lineup today with Jakes batting 6th and Powers batting 7th. Jakes will be lifted for a courtesy runner. Antonia Bonina in to run at first base. And the first pitch into Powers misses for ball 1, so the command is wavering here for Cahill.
just when you think you start getting toward the bottom of this Milford lineup, maybe get a break with a hitter, it just keeps coming. All these girls know how to hit. They all hit well. So just when you think you maybe walked one of the better hitters on this team, they just keep coming.
Jill Powers with a .326 batting average coming into action today. Off balance on the swing that time, and now Jill falls behind 1 ball and 2 strikes. Base is full of Milford runners here. 2 outs in the bottom of the first, a run home so far for Milford, looking for more. As that pitch spins Powers off the plate and evens the count at 2. Here's the 2-2 offering. It's high. And that will fill up the count. Nowhere to put Powers. With Farrell at third, DeCapua at second, Bonina running for Meg Jakes at first. Here's the payoff pitch, and it's chopped on the ground to shortstop. Waiting for it is Jerrier. She fields, throws to first. It clanks off the glove of the first baseman. 2 runs are going to come in to score for Milford. Just a routine ground ball to shortstop. It was a clean play on Jerrier's end at short. The throw was a little bit high, but certainly manageable. But Matthews let the ball clank off her glove, and that results in 2 big runs crossing the plate.
Not only was that high, that was a little bit up the line and into the runner too. That would have been a tough play for Matthews.
It will go as an E6. Farrell and DeCapua both scoring on the play. Both runs will be unearned. Bonina ended up at third base, so runners at the corners for Milford now, still 2 outs in the inning. All of this damage being done with 2 outs. Maddie Bonvino up at the plate now. Takes a called strike as the count evens at 1-1.
And you mentioned all this being done with 2 outs. This shows the resilience of the Milford squad, never letting anything get in their way, never backing down. It's what makes them special as a softball team.
2-1 now. A 3-ball, 1-strike count. The scoreboard a little bit behind. Now the umpire making sure everything was corrected. That ball briefly got away from the catcher, and that allows Powers to move into scoring position at second base. Another full count. Here's the pitch. It bounces in for ball 4, ricochets away from the catcher. Bonina didn't get a good read. And so she stays put at third base, and Milford will once again have the bases loaded, as they will send all 9 batters to the plate in this first inning as Shannon Cormier gets set to dig in, and we'll have a coach's visit in the pitcher's circle. The head coach for Canton, Tracy Andrews. Walks always have a way of coming back to hurt, and that is certainly the case here in this inning. The walk to Tomaso starting this rally, now a walk to Bonvino, reloading the bases, giving Cormier a chance. And the first pitch is up high for a ball. It glances off the glove and rolls away, but again, no advance at third. You have to have very quick reactions at third base if you're going to go on a play like that. Not much foul territory behind the plate.
No, there really isn't. And Ezepic, the catcher, has done a great job of tracking the pass balls down, so the runner at third doesn't have any time to make an effort to go home.
You can see Coach DeVito right now having a conversation with Antonio Bonina regarding base running, taking a good secondary lead. Two balls and 1 strike, the count on Cormier. As the sun comes back out, here's the pitch that's over Shannon's head and misses for ball 3. This has become quite a laborious inning for Caitlin Cahill. Facing her 9th batter. Here's the 3-1 pitch. It's swung on and tapped foul. So yet another full count. Bonina at third, Powers at second, Bonvino at first. Cahill's pitch into Shannon Cormier is hit on the ground again to shortstop. Here's the throw from Jerrier, in and out of the glove at first base. And Antonia Bonina comes in to score the 4th Milford run of the inning.
And that one looked the same as the other ground ball to short. Looked routine, everything started well, and then a bobble over at first base. 2 unfortunate plays for Canton here in this inning.
Their third error, excuse me, their second error of the inning. That one in all likelihood should go against the first baseman. So only 1 RBI in this inning despite the 4 runs put up for Milford. Canton has really helped the Lady Hawks' cause. Bases continue to be loaded now as Kate Irwin takes her second at bat of the inning. She sends a fly ball out to shallow right, down for a base hit. Into score comes Powers. Around from third comes Maddie Bonvino on the 2-run, 2-out single from Kate Irwin, and Milford is really making it hurt here in the first inning, now up 6-0.
Well, you said a couple minutes ago, anytime you walk a lot of hitters, you're giving a team more chances to score runs, and you can't give a team like Milford extra opportunities.
Irwin immediately takes off for second base. The throw sails out into center field. This will allow Shannon Cormier to score and Kate Irwin to move on to third base. Well, this is a Milford squad that you had to imagine came into this game with some anger and frustration over how things have gone over the last 5 games. They are certainly expressing that frustration with a very emphatic first inning in terms of offensive production. Now 7 runs, 7-0 as the at-bat for Emily Pierre-Gustavo continues. Here's the 1-1 pitch. This is popped up on the infield. The first baseman settles underneath. She makes the catch for the out that finally brings an end to this bottom of the first inning, but not before 11 batters come to the plate. 7 come around to score, and just 1 inning deep into the game, Milford leads it 7-0 over Canton here on coverage of Milford High School athletics on Milford TV. Milford scoring 7 times in the first inning on the benefit of just 3 hits. As now the first batter in the top of the second inning sends a line drive out to right field, but a nice ranging catch made towards the line for Shannon Cormier. First pitch swinging by Hannah Jerrier. Looked like it had the chance to be extra bases, but a great jump by Cormier, and she's able to make the grab.
You can't hit it much better than that. Right off the barrel of the bat, right down the right field line, but a great play by Cormier to be able to get to the line, track it down, and make that play.
So 1 very quick out, and now a rising fastball eludes the bat of Julia Izepik for strike 1. A long look in for Allie Atherton, as now she sends a line drive right to the backstop.
You have to love how Canton is coming out and being aggressive with their at-bats, though. Even though they're down, I mean, they could have easily come into this inning and pouted and said, we give up, but they came out, started swinging the bats. Even in the first inning, they were swinging the bats, and that's the only way you're going to be able to get to a pitcher of Atherton's caliber.
Here's the 0-2. It's popped up foul. That makes its way up over the backstop and out of play. Three walks and 3 errors in that bottom of the first inning, helping that Milford rally along. Canton not doing themselves any favors. They have a big mountain to climb now as the 0-2 pitch misses outside.
And you got to think Atherton's a lot more comfortable out there now with a 7-run lead. You mentioned earlier that the first inning's always been a little bit of a trouble inning for her, so she was able to get out of that with no runs, and now she has a 7-run lead.
That ball foul as it hopped up over the first base bag and past the glove of Tommaso, but a foul ball.
Wasn't fouled by very much. Looked very close. I thought it was fair at first glance.
Stays a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Here's the windup and the pitch on the inside corner, strike 3.
That was a good pitch. She went outside with the last few pitches, and then she came right back inside at the knees. That's just a great pitch by Atherton. Not much the hitter could do on that one.
You can hear the praise coming from Coach DeVito outside the third base dugout. Loved the pitch from his starter. She's gotten the first 2 now in the top of the second inning, leaving it up to Effie O'Mahony, the right fielder. Takes the first pitch for a called strike. Atherton staying ahead of these batters. The 0-1, that's too far outside. This is the second matchup of the season between Milford and Canton. They last played on April 25th at Canton High School, and it ended up being a one-sided affair in that game, Milford winning 12-1. Up 7-0 with 2 outs in the top of the second. This is a slow roller to second base, and Emily Pierre-Gustavo could not play it cleanly, and the runner will reach.
That bat went flying out of her hands. You don't see that too often in high school games. Luckily, looks like nobody got hurt.
So that's the second Milford error now in the game, going against Emily Pierre-Gustavo this time. So we've seen a total of 5 errors over the first inning and a half.
Can't give teams extra opportunities. Let's see if Canton can take advantage of an error here with 2 outs.
Molly Lowren, the left fielder, getting a chance to bat out of the number 8 spot. Atherton waiting for a cloud of dirt to pass by in front of the pitcher's circle, now ready with the next pitch, and just blows it past the bat of Lowren. One ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, a runner aboard at first. One and 2 now the count. Just a 1 ball, 2 strike count. The batter about ready to give herself up for a strike 3 that had not yet come.
Pleasantly surprised. I would be too if I thought there were 3 strikes.
There are 2 strikes now. The next pitch from Atherton, and that is on the outside corner for a called strike 3. Now Lowren can make her way back to the dugout. 3 strikeouts now in the game for Atherton. They've all been called strike 3. And we're through an inning and a half now for Milford High School, 7-0 in favor of the Lady Scarlet Hawks here on Milford TV. Heading into the bottom of the second inning, Milford bringing batters 3, 4, and 5 to the plate. They sent 11 batters to the plate in the first inning. And just as we're set to begin this bottom of the second inning, it looks like we've got some Canton changes brewing, as right now Coach Andrews going over some lineup card issues with the 2-man umpiring crew. We can tell you there is a new pitcher on, as Sarah Reisfelder, senior captain, comes in after just 1 inning on the mound from Caitlin Cahill.
1 inning, but a lot of pitches in that inning. Like you mentioned, I think you said 3 errors, a couple of walks, a lot of pitches, went through the lineup 1.5 times.
We'll check on the defensive alignment for Canton to see if there are any other changes, but so far The new pitcher on is Sarah Reisfelder. And a lefty pitcher, the first ball sent into Jess Tomaso sneaks over the glove of Colleen Phelan at second base. Just beyond the grasp of the second baseman, and Tomaso is on base already for the second time after walking to initiate that big 7-run rally in the first. Now Farrell up there, she takes a called strike, so these Milford bats will now adjust to the lefty pitcher on the mound. This pitch hit hard on the ground to second base. Phelan throws to second. They get the out there. That is all they will get, as Jerrier held on to the ball, didn't chance to throw to first.
Good play to just get one out there. Lead runner.
So 4-6 on the force play. Farrell safe on the fielder's choice. Now DeCapua takes a called strike one. The ball popped in and out of the mitt of catcher Julia Izepik. Farrell had started and stopped at first base, and the pitch was lined off of the backstop.
Reisfelder looks like she has a little bit more zip on her fastball. Milford hitters are going to need to make a little bit of an adjustment, but so far two hard hit balls to start the inning.
That ball chopped foul down the first base line. A bit of a different kind of delivery out of Reisfelder as well. You wonder if that's a little deceptive for these batters.
Well, and she's a lefty too, so I know with baseball, with the lefty, the ball has a little bit of a tail to it when it comes out of her comes out of the hand. So I don't know if softball is the same thing if it has a little bit of a tail, but like you said, a little bit of a different motion as well.
Kaylin DeCapua down 2 strikes, putting on a tough at bat, fouling off a number of pitches. DeCapua drove in a run with an RBI single last inning. The only earned run that Milford has scored so far today. And that time DeCapua takes a called strike 3 on the inner part of the plate. A nice pitch from Reisfelder. That's the first Canton strikeout of the game.
Great pitch by the captain, Reisfelder there. Looked like a changeup or a less speed pitch. Fooled DeCapua.
First pitch into Megan Jakes, bounces low. Meg worked one of the 3 walks in the first inning. Here's the 1-0 in for a called strike.
That's the first strikes Megan has seen all day. Walked on 4 pitches her first at bat.
Long hesitation in the circle for Reisfelder. Here's her pitch. It's low as Farrell takes off for second base. The throw hits the runner, bounces out into center field, but no further advance. A stolen base credited to Maggie Farrell. A runner now in scoring position, a 2-1 count. The pitch into Jakes is hit down the third base line. It's a fair ball, bobbled briefly out there in left field, and that will allow Maggie Farrell to score without a throw. An RBI single for Meg Jakes, as again Milford is able to play to 2-out run. They up their lead to 8-0. Runner at first base now for Jill Powers, who pops the pitch up. The pitcher Reisfelder in between the circle and the first base bag is able to make the catch for the out that ends the inning. Milford scores another run in the frame. And after 2 full innings of play from Milford, it is the Lady Hawks 8 and the Lady Bulldogs 0 here on coverage of Milford High School softball on Milford TV. 8 runs on 5 hits now for the Lady Hawks. They have committed 2 errors. Canton, no runs, no hits, and 3 errors as we enter into the top of the 3rd inning. A first pitch strike into the number 9 batter. And Reisfelder, who took the place of Caitlin Cahill in the pitcher circle, will now take the at-bat out of the number 9 spot. So Cahill did not even take an at-bat in this game. The 1-ball, 1-strike pitch, and it's a called strike 2. Left-handed batting Reisfelder, right-handed throwing Allie Atherton. The pitch misses away. Reisfelder, one of 3 Canton captains, as she chops this pitch on the ground to first. Tommaso applies the tag, and the out goes 3 unassisted against Reisfelder. And we go back up to the top spot of the lineup now, and Rachel Dooley, who struck out looking to open the game. Windup and the pitch from Atherton hits that lower inside corner for a called strike 1. That's been a very effective pitch for her so far in the early innings.
Yeah, she's been there all day, and she's been getting the calls, and even when she's not getting the calls, it's a good mix-up pitch. Gives the batter something to think about. Looks like she maybe hit it again there for strike 2.
3 strikeouts so far in the game for Allie Atherton. Ahead in the count now, 0-2. The next offering. That time, Dooley was able to get a piece of it, sending it up and over the first base dugout.
Good thing I parked my car at the other end of the parking lot today.
It's always a bit of a game of Russian roulette for where's the best place to park in the softball parking lot. Sometimes you park far away, it still doesn't make a difference.
I've seen it a million times. Cracked windshields, back windshields, windows, someone getting hit with a ball.
It's really no better at Fino Field either. You can park in the furthest parking space. You still have a chance of getting hit. You just never know. The 1-2 pitch now from Atherton. This is sent in the air out to center field. In comes Farrell, and she's able to make the basket catch. Maggie Farrell getting more and more comfortable with that center field position. Started out the season in right field, moved over to center. Really looking comfortable now, making that catch on the move. We've seen a couple of very nice rangy plays in the outfield so far today from Milford.
And you mentioned her shift from the corner outfield to center field. It's a completely different position. You go from left to right or right to left. Not many adjustments other than the foul line is on the opposite side and stuff like that. But center field, you're basically the captain out there, and you got to have more range, and she made a very nice play there and the ground ball to end the inning.
Caitlin McCarthy on just 1 pitch grounds out 1-3 to finish off a very quick and easy 1-2-3 frame for Allie Atherton. That sends us right on to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Still 8-0 Milford in front of Canton here on Milford TV. 8-9-1 due up in the bottom of the 3rd inning for the Milford Lady Scarlet Hawks. Maddie Bonvino, the leadoff batter in the inning. She takes a called strike out of Sarah Reisfelder, who allowed a run on 2 hits in her first inning of relief. As Milford chased the starter, Caitlin Cahill, after just 1 inning. One ball and 1 strike now the count to Bonvino, who walked and scored a run back in the first. Lifts a pitch out to the left side of the infield. 3 players converge, but it's the pitcher who makes the play. Reisfelder caught the pop-up that ended the 2nd inning, now catches a pop-up to open up the 3rd. Always nice to see a pitcher who is not afraid to field their position.
I was just about to say, you always love to see a pitcher play the position. They're not out there to just pitch. Obviously, that's their most important quality, but It's always good to have someone who's athletic and able to field the ground ball or field the fly ball. It takes a lot of pressure off the other infielders.
Quick 1-ball, 1-strike count on the number 9 hitter, Shannon Cormier. She lines the pitch back up the middle for a base hit. A wide turn around first base, but Cormier will retreat. She reaches on the 1-out single. She's been on base twice now. Reached on an error at first base back in the first inning and came around to score. Now singles here in the third and turns the lineup over. The third at bat already for Kate Irwin.
And that's a tough at bat for Cormier too, lefty on lefty, but she was able to line it back up the middle. Good solid contact.
Kate Irwin offering at that first pitch of the at bat. Falls down in a 0-1 count. The next pitch from Reisfelder again, a swing and a miss.
I'm always intrigued by this slap bunt, slap hit sort of thing. It's a very unique quality to the game of softball.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. This one slapped right back to the pitcher's circle, but it ricochets away from Reisfelder, and that will allow Irwin to reach. That one hit hard right back to the circle. It looked like it may have ricocheted off of the fingertips of the glove of the pitcher. Now a hard ground ball to second base, scooped up by Phelan. She'll throw to first to get the out there. It moves the runners along now with 2 outs. The runners each move up into scoring position with Cormier now at third. Irwin at second.
Yeah, good piece of hitting, going the other way with that pitch. Allows the runners to advance, and now a hit possibly scores 2. Definitely 1, maybe 2.
Jess Tomaso up now. She takes a called strike. Tomaso has walked and singled so far. The pitch misses low. And now a pitch lofted foul over the backstop and out of play. It's a 1-ball, 2-strike count on Tomaso. 2 outs and 2 in scoring position. Reisfelder's pitch misses outside and low.
And no better hitter to have up with runners on in scoring position.
Tomaso leading the Hockomock League in home runs with 5. She sends a fly ball out to right center field, back towards the fence. That's going to bounce off of the fence. Both runs will come in to score as Tomaso pulls up at second base with a 2-out, 2-run double that ups the Milford lead to an even 10-0.
And she just barely missed a home run there too. You got to maybe think the wind maybe played a factor in that. But I think she'll take the double, drive in 2 runs. Milford now leads 10-0.
Now Farrell swings at the first pitch, pops it up to second base. Phelan with some trouble fighting the sun, but she was able to stick with it. Makes the catch for the out that ends the inning, but once again, Milford just has the 2-out bats going all game long. They score 2 more with 2 outs, and after 3 full innings of play, it is now the Lady Hawks 10 and the Canton Lady Bulldogs 0 here on Milford TV. Milford's done their best work with 2 outs in this game. They scored 7 times after 2 outs had been recorded in the first. They scored a 2-out run in the second, and then the 2-out, 2-run double for Jess Tomaso in the bottom half of the third has given the Lady Hawks a 10-0 lead over Canton. As we are now into the top of the 4th inning, it will be batters 3, 4, and 5 due up for the Lady Bulldogs. Gabby Matthews, one of the tri-captains, leading it off. 1 defensive change for the Lady Hawks, Emily Hartman into the game behind the plate. So Megan Jakes will get the rest of the game off as Gabby Matthews sends a pop-up in foul ground just parallel to the first base bag where Tomaso makes the catch. 5 in a row now retired for Allie Atherton as she gets set to deal with second baseman Colleen Phelan. This pitch belted out to right field, but just quickly dies out there with that cross breeze. It allows Cormier to make the catch.
Yeah, Canton has really had no luck here today. They've hit a couple sharp balls out to right field and one to center field. And whether it's the wind or great play by the Milford outfielders, then nothing's been able to fall in for them.
Yeah, off the bat, it looked like that ball was going to travel well, but Cormier had plenty of room to make the catch out in medium depth in right field. So 2 up, 2 down. That leaves it up to the shortstop, Hannah Jerrier, who lined out to Shannon Cormier in right field, her first time up. Sends a pitch in the air and foul ground down the right field line. Cormier giving chase, but that is out into the fans. That favorite spectator spot down the right field line. And it's a no ball, 2-strike count on Jerrier as Allie Atherton looks for her second consecutive 1-2-3 inning.
She has settled in these last couple innings after not a rough start, but a little bit of a shaky start in the first inning, allowing a couple of runners to get into scoring positions. He's really settled in.
Here's the 0-2. It's on the ground, foul. Milford at 11-4 overall on the season. Still in the top spot in the Davenport division. Canton in last place at 0-14 overall. A rebuilding year for this Lady Bulldogs program. A 1-2 count now. The next pitch on the way from Atherton. It's on the ground to short. Waiting for it is Powers. She fields, throws, and it gets there in time for the final out of the top of the fourth inning. 1-2-3. Atherton sets them down again. On to the bottom of the fourth inning. It is still 10-0 Milford over Canton on Milford TV. Bottom of the fourth inning from the Milford High School softball field. It's been a good offensive day so far for the Lady Hawks. 10 runs put up through the first 3 frames. They'll now send Caitlin DeCapua up onto this number 5 spot to begin things in the fourth. Sarah Reisfelder continuing in the circle for the visitors. DeCapua singled to drive in a run in the first inning, also scored a run. Then struck out swinging in the second. Sends a slow rolling ground ball to short. Ranging to her left is Jerrier. She gets the throw to first base in time. DeCapua out number 1 in the fourth.
That was a good shortstop to first base connection there. We've seen a little bit of difficulty between those two, but they executed that one well.
1 down for Emily Hartman, the freshman, who will take an at bat here as she replaced Megan Jakes behind the plate. She sends this ball on the ground towards second base. Grabbing it is Phelan. She fires to first. And a couple of ground ball outs have quickly given Canton 2 outs here in the fourth inning. Reisfelder would love to see a 1-2-3 inning.
Yeah, and she certainly has brought some stability these past couple innings, coming in relief for Cahill.
Jill Powers now trying to hold up on the swing. Bad luck there as the ball ran up and in, hit off the handle of the bat, and it'll go as a strike.
Yeah, it looks like she was trying to get out of the way of that one and just couldn't get the bat out of the way. Luckily, she didn't get it off her knuckles.
Here's the 0-1. Takes a swing at that one again, riding up and in. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and the base is empty. Reisfelder's next pitch. Trying to get Jill Powers to chase that one just off the outside part of the plate.
It was good thinking by Reisfelder. Low and away off-speed pitch.
1-2 now the count, the pitch. Powers chasing that high one, but sends it out of play off to the right. Jill reached on an error and scored a run in the first inning and then popped out to Sarah Reisfelder to conclude things in the second inning.
If I were Reisfelder, I'd think about maybe going back up and in again. Powers looked a little bit uncomfortable with those first couple pitches up and in.
The windup and the pitch. Low.
Wow.
Not by much.
That one looked pretty good.
Evens up the count at 2. And that pitch again just misses. Some close ones not going Sarah Reisfelder's way, and now count full with 2 outs. There's the payoff pitch. That misses for ball 4. So Powers showing good plate discipline there as the at-bat went on.
Looked like the catcher might have pulled the ball away a little bit too soon on those last couple pitches. Questionable strikes. A lot of times when you pull it away quickly like that, it's an indication that you maybe know that it's a ball. And when she pulled it away quickly, maybe gave the umpire the impression that it wasn't a strike, but a couple of close pitches. But Powers was able to draw the walk nonetheless.
It's the 4th Milford walk of the game, but just the first against Reisfelder. The other 3 came against the starter, Caitlin Cahill, back in the first inning. An 0-2 pitch into Bonvino. She lifts this pitch down the left field line, but just foul. That one touching down maybe about a foot into foul territory down the left field line.
She hooked it. That was on the outside part of the plate. Looked like an off-speed pitch, a little bit out in front. Wasn't able to stay back enough. Hooked it just foul.
Another 0-2 pitch into Bonvino, high. Milford keeping the chatter up in the dugout with their 10-run lead. Jill Powers at first. The 1-2 pitch into Bonvino is swung on and missed for strike 3. And for the first time all game, Canton is able to hold Milford off the scoreboard. They do not score here in the 4th inning. And so we have played 4 full now from the softball field in Milford. 10-0 remains the score with the home team out in front on Milford TV. Into the 5th inning now at the Milford High School softball field. Allie Atherton back in the circle, facing batters 6, 7, and 8. Julia Izepik, the catcher, leading it off. And she pops the pitch up into foul ground just over the backstop. A 1-ball, 1-strike count now. Izepik struck out looking in her only plate appearance so far. And now a called strike brings the count to 1-2.
There's that pitch low and in again. Allie has been consistent there all day. She's had a lot of success down there.
The 1-2 pitch swung on and missed, goes right back to that spot. And really none of these Canton batters has had an answer for that pitch so far today.
Low and into a righty, out and away, low and away to a lefty. Devastating pitch.
4 Ks now in all for Atherton. Now 8 in a row retired, as looks like we'll see a pinch hitter come to the plate now. Swing and a miss. Taylor Carrington now into the game, batting in the spot previously occupied by Effie O'Mahony. Waved at and missed, and a quick 3-pitch strikeout that time for Atherton. Now an even 5 strikeouts in the outing.
That's tough for a pinch hitter coming off the bench. Cold like that, literally and figuratively with today's temperatures and wind. But, I mean, Atherton's just mowing them down now.
Starts off with a called strike to the left fielder, Molly Lovren, who struck out looking to end the second inning. One and one now, the count. That pitch skips in, bringing the count to 2 balls and a strike. Atherton now pitching to freshman Emily Hartman behind the plate, taking over last inning for Meg Jakes. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. The base is clear. The next pitch on the way, and it is swung on and missed. Two-two count. Atherton shakes off the first sign, now has the one she wants. This is hit on the ground slowly to shortstop. Boxed around by Jill Powers, and the runner will reach.
Another error by the Milford team here today. Very uncharacteristic of their usually solid defense.
At first it looked like Atherton was going to have the chance to make the play on that ball herself, but then it got by, and you wonder if maybe there was just a step hesitation for Powers as she came in on that ball, thinking the pitcher would field it.
That's a tough play for Atherton too. She's a great athlete, but that ball, the ground ball, would have been off her backhand side. And it's a much easier play for Powers, but like you said, there could have been a hesitation there.
So now Reisfelder batting out of the number 9 spot, taking her second at bat of the game. Canton has now had 3 base runners in this game. They have all reached via the error. 2 errors at shortstop, an error at second base. And with a 1-ball, 2-strike count, Reisfelder getting a couple of words from her head coach out of the third base coach's box.
Reisfelder seeing if she can help her own cause here. She's brought a lot of stability to the defense for Canton. Now she can maybe help out on the offensive end.
She steps back in on the left side now. Steady breeze blowing across the field again. The 1-2 pitch is sent foul out of play. Here's the 1-2 on the ground on a couple of bounces to second base, fielded by Pierre Gustavo. She fires to first, and that brings the inning to an end. We head on to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Milford still well out in front, 10-0 over Canton here on Milford TV. Shannon Cormier will get things started for the Milford Bats here in the bottom of the 5th, leading 10-0. Cormier singled in her last at bat. Sends a tapper out towards second base, fielded by Phelan. She throws to first to get the out there. A couple of defensive changes for Canton here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Lindsay Burris, who had actually come up to make a pinch hitting appearance for Molly Lohren, stays in the game to play left field. Kate Irwin now sends a bunt attempt out towards the pitcher's circle. A nice play by Reisfelder. She gets the throw there in time for the out. Also into the game defensively, Taylor Carrington, who also pinch hit in the top of this inning. She stays in to play right field.
Good idea by Irwin, not great execution. It was a little bit too close to the pitcher. she has to get that ball down either line a little bit more.
Now first pitch swinging, Pierre Gustavo sends a bouncer to shortstop, or excuse me, to second base. The bobble makes the difference there. Just a little bit of a bobble for the second baseman, Colleen Phelan. And it makes the difference with Pierre Gustavo hustling down the line.
That's one of those in-between balls, kind of a line drive. Not close enough to her to be able to go catch it in the air. It's one of those situations where you got to kind of back off and play it on the bounce, but you got to make sure you get the right bounce, and unfortunately that one took a little bit of a bad hop. Wasn't able to make the clean play, and Pierre Gustavo reaches it first.
Gives the 2-out opportunity to Jess Tomaso. And we know what Milford has done when given a 2-out hitting opportunity throughout this game. It's a 2-ball, 1-strike count on Tomaso, who is officially 2 for 2. A single, a double, 2 runs batted in. She's also walked and scored a run. A full stat line for Tomaso once again. 3 balls and a strike now the count.
Gotta think she'll get a good pitch here to hit.
Here it comes. It's a high one. She drives it out to center field for a base hit, her 3rd hit of the game. And that will keep the lineup moving now as Maggie Farrell will have a chance.
Another tough at bat, lefty on lefty. Let's see if Farrell can take advantage or if Reisfelder can put her down here to end the inning.
First pitch sails up and away for ball 1. Jess Tomaso came into the game batting .522. She adds 3 hits to the resume here today, so that batting average will get an uptick. Farrell chops that one foul down the first base line, evening the count at a ball and a strike. Milford well represented amongst the top hitters in the Hockomock League. Combination of Milford, Taunton, and King Philip occupying a good deal of the spots in the top 20 in batting in the Hockomock. A 1-ball, 2-strike count now on Farrell. Here's the pitch. She golfs that one slowly over towards the right side. Another nice play. Reisfelder has fielded her position very well since she has come into the game. Goes as a 1-3 put out to conclude things in the bottom of the 5th inning. We will play on to the 6th. Still 10-0 Milford here on Milford TV. Top of the 6th inning, top of the lineup due up for the Canton Lady Bulldogs against Allie Atherton and the Milford Lady Scarlet Hawks. As again, you just see the wind whipping across the field. Atherton's first pitch into Rachel Dooley off the handle of the bat, foul. We mentioned those league leaders in batting around the Hockomock. Jordan Wade, your current batting average leader out of Taunton High School with a .623 average. Emily Pierre Gustavo coming into the day in 2nd place in the Hawk in batting at .580. Jess Tomaso 4th in the league with her .522 average coming into play. Kate Irwin at 14th, Maggie Farrell 15th, and Megan Jakes 21st. So again, plenty of representation amongst the top hitters in the league.
And a couple of hits by all those girls today, so you got to figure, unless the other girls on that list have also had the same success today in the last few days, that these Milford girls are going to move up in those rankings.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. It's up high. That's some of our strongest wind of the day so far coming in this at-bat between Rachel Dooley and Allie Atherton. Here's the pitch. Sent hard but foul off to the right, out of play.
Well, the wind doesn't seem to be affecting Allie anyway. She has pitched great this afternoon. Only base runners have been a couple errors, a couple walks.
Here's the 2-2. Just misses. It's that sweet spot we've talked about all game long. That time maybe just a little bit inside.
Yeah, that one looked pretty good. She didn't get that one though. She's gotten it most of most of the day, though, so she can't complain too much.
Here's the 3-2 pitch. And that's at the top of the strike zone for a called strike 3.
Yeah, that one looked like maybe a little bit of a makeup call. That one, catcher did a good job of framing it, bringing it down into the zone a little bit. But that one looked a little bit above the letters, but Atherton can't complain. Canton, on the other hand, maybe can.
Couple years back, you really started hearing about the high strike getting called more in baseball. Well, that was the high strike getting called here on the softball field. And on the ensuing pitch, McCarthy sends a tapper out to second base, and she is out number 2.
And there's the solid defense that I was mentioning a little bit earlier. A couple of errors on Milford's behalf today, but good play by Pierre Gustavo to react to that little slap hit, make the out at first base.
And Milford does have 3 errors in the game, but we have also seen some very good defensive play.
Especially those couple line drives out to the outfield. Cormier and Farrell. Left field's been a little quiet. Gotta feel bad for Irwin standing out there in the wind, but.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. And that hits her. That ran a little too far inside on Gabby Matthews, a hit by pitch. And that will allow Colleen Phelan to come to the plate.
And on a day like today, that does not feel good. A little bit cold, get hit by a pitch like that, look like the thigh. That's gonna hurt for a little while.
A 2-out base runner. And now the pitch into Phelan is a swing and a miss. The throw down as the runner heads for second base. Late coverage to the second base bag. But Milford able to keep the ball on the infield. It's a stolen base, so despite taking a pitch off the thigh, Matthews aggressively getting into second base with the steal.
And that's one thing I've noticed about both teams. The middle infield has been very late with covering the base. That's something before the game or even in practice you have to figure out as a team.
This pitch lined out to left field. That is down for a base hit. Gathered in quickly by Kate Irwin, and the runner will have to hold up at third base. And that is your first Canton hit of the afternoon. A solid single. It comes here with 2 outs in the 6th inning after the hit by pitch.
And I'm sure Allie's disappointed the no-hitter's gone, but as from Canton's standpoint, you got to be happy for them, be able to get on in the hit column today. And one thing they have not done is back down. They went down early, but they have been resilient, and they've put up good at-bats against Atherton today, and they're finally able to get one in the hit column, so good for them.
Runners at the corners now as Jerrier steps in. The runner takes off for second base. She gets there, no throw from Hartman. And looking at the reaction from Coach DeVito in the dugout, not really pleased again with the rotation on the infield as that runner headed down to second base.
I think that one might have been on a little bit more upset with the catcher. I think she missed a call. That one might have gone down to second base. With a 10-run lead, you're looking to get outs. If that run scores from third, it's not a big deal.
Called strike brings the count to 1-2 against Hannah Jerrier, who's 0 for 2. The line out to right field and a ground out to shortstop. The no-hit bid going by the boards. Now the shutout bid in jeopardy with 2 in scoring position. The 1-2 pitch is sent foul, trickling off towards the first base dugout.
Atherton goes back to the bread and butter there, the low and in on the right-handed batter. Was able to get weak contact, foul ball.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch hit hard on the ground, past the glove of Emily Pierre Gustavo into right. 1 run comes into score. Now here comes Phelan to the plate. The throw is there in time, and she is out. Colleen Phelan trying to score from second base. Both the runner and the catcher a little ginger after the play. Heavy contact made as it was bang, bang. But the out recorded at the plate. Canton scores 1, but they run into the final out of the inning at home plate. It ends the top of the 6th inning where the score is now Milford 10 and Canton 1 here on coverage of Scarlet Hawks Athletics on Milford TV. Allie Atherton taking a no-hit bid into the top half of the 6th inning. She ends up surrendering her first hit with 2 outs in the inning. Canton ends up getting 2 hits in the top of the 6th to plate their first run. A second potential run thrown out at the plate to end the inning. So all in all now a 10-1 score as Milford comes to the plate in the bottom of the 6th.
And Milford will look to get back to work here after surrendering that first run. They've been held quiet for the last few innings with Reisfelder coming in relief.
Yeah, 3 innings allowed over 4 innings of relief so far for Sarah Reisfelder. She's scattered 6 hits. She's walked 1 and struck out 1. So all things considered, she's really settled this game down.
It's been a completely different game since she's come in. Makes you wonder what would have happened if she started this game. Cahill struggled a little bit out of the gate, and if Reisfelder had started, I don't know if she's a starter or strictly relief or whatever the situation is, but it could be a completely different game.
You'd have to wonder with Reisfelder serving as one of the captains of this team if Canton takes a similar approach to Milford, and perhaps Cahill and Reisfelder are a 1-2 combination in their starting rotation, and this was maybe a day Canton was trying to give Reisfelder a little rest. Ended up getting pressed into service after the lengthy first inning that Milford put up against Caitlin Cahill.
That could be a case, but when you're playing a team like Milford, most of the time you want to put your best pitcher out there. And I'm not taking anything away from Caitlin Cahill, but I mean, Reisfelder has really come in and settled this game down, and she's done a great job of really silencing the bats. Like you said, 3 runs and 4+ innings of relief so far, so it could be a completely different game.
This pitch is hit out into shallow center field. It actually touches down right at the edge of the infield dirt, and it'll land perfectly placed for a leadoff single.
It's like the little Bermuda Triangle out there between center fielder, shortstop, and second baseman, right in the middle of all of them. Really no easy play there.
See, these batters are continuing to have a tough time not getting a face full of infield dirt, as it just feels like the wind has gotten worse and worse as this game has gone on. It's hard to believe that this game is taking place on May 16th. It feels more like early April, if that.
I mean, it was 80 on Saturday, so 50 feels like well below 0. Then again, I'm coming from Syracuse, so anything above 10 is a good day. Although it wasn't that bad out there this year, so we lucked out. Unless you think -22 is bad, and then it was pretty bad.
I'd say after the winter we experienced last year, we've pretty much seen it all. Although Syracuse, do you get the lake effect snow out there in Syracuse sometimes?
Oh, yeah.
High fly ball out to left field. This sneaks back to the fence, and that is over the fence for a home run. And a player down out there in the outfield, as it looked like both center fielder and right fielder were tracking that ball back. That's a home run for the freshman, Emily Hartman. But now the concern immediately turns to the outfield, where a player is down injured. The home run gives Milford a 12-1 lead, but we will step aside for the injury timeout. We'll be back in just a moment here on Milford TV. Well, a bit of a roller coaster of emotions over those minutes on the field between Milford and Canton. You had the solo, or the 2-run home run, I should say, for the freshman Emily Hartman to make it a 12-1 lead for Milford, but then immediately concern for the left fielder Lindsey Burris, as it looked like she ran headlong into the fence, maybe not quite realizing how quickly that fence was going to creep up on her. She was down for several moments on the turf as she was being attended to by the training staff, both head coaches out there trying to lend a hand, but Lindsey Burris, she'll stay in the game. She was able to eventually get to her feet.
Yeah, it looks like she didn't realize how much room she had. She took a couple steps back. She did what she was supposed to do. First step back, then found the ball. And then she looked to see how much room she had left. And when she looked, it was just fence and a little bit of a collision there. Like you said, she was down for several moments, but great training staff here at Milford, and obviously immediate concern by both head coaches and the athletic director, Peter Boucher. And she's tough, staying in the game. So good to see her get up. Good to see that she's okay. And hopefully we'll be getting back underway sooner than later.
So meanwhile, for Emily Hartman, that is her first home run of her varsity softball career, as she came into the game for Megan Jakes a couple of innings ago, taking her second at bat of the game and sending a pitch over the left field fence for a 2-run home run.
It's kind of a tough one to get your first home run on. Obviously, like you said, a mix of emotions, immediate concern for the left fielder. So maybe it took a little bit away, but I mean, otherwise, great swing by Hartman. She really put a charge into that one, so good for her to get her first home run.
And so now we'll have a pinch hitting appearance here from Kelly Reichert.
Take over for Jill Powers, or at least pinch hitting anyway.
Pinch hitting in this number 7 spot in the lineup. She floats a pitch right out in front of the plate. It lands in fair territory, but then kicks foul. The catcher, Zepik, couldn't find it right away. Kelly, of course, the number 2 arm in the rotation. Doesn't see a whole lot of action in the batter's box. This is just her 4th at-bat of the season. She has 1 hit in 3 at-bats. A healthy cut there, but comes up empty for strike 2. I would expect we may see wholesale defensive changes for Coach DeVito and the Lady Hawks as we enter into the 7th inning. There is a called strike 3 as Reichert will go down.
Yeah, you hate to see games lopsided like this, but if there's one benefit that comes out of it, both teams are given an opportunity to let some players who don't necessarily play as much or get regular at-bats or regular innings in the field to get that opportunity.
Maddie Bonvino putting a charge in the first pitch she sees, but just could not keep it fair. We've seen that a couple of times out of Maddie so far today.
Well, the wind is blowing that way. You alluded to that earlier, and you got to think it probably has a play in the foul balls that have been going down that way so far.
1 ball and 1 strike now the count on Bonvino. She walked back in the first inning and scored a run. Since then, she's popped out and struck out. The pitch from Reisfelder. Misses a little bit high, a similar pitch to that strike 3 call we had in the previous inning for Allie Atherton.
That one looked pretty good.
A 2-1 pitch now and golfed foul.
Seen a couple of those golf type swings today. Protective swing.
Bonvino up now. Shannon Cormier waits on deck. The 8 and 9 hitters in this lineup. Here's the pitch. Sent in the air, in foul ground. The first baseman calling for it. The wind playing tricks. But Gabby Matthews able to stay with it to make the catch.
Yeah, that was a very tough play for Matthews at first base. Started well into foul territory next to first base, and the wind just carried it back almost into fair territory. But Matthews made a great play. Good job tracking it down.
Now Shannon Cormier looking to go the other way, testing Lindsey Burris. She had it in the glove but could not secure it. And Cormier will head down to second base safely on the error.
And again, it looked like the wind might have played its part in that too. It looked like she was under it, ready to catch it and jog in, but she saw her kind of jump across her body, reach the other way, and that is the way the wind is blowing, so might have played its part in that play as well.
And so now here's Kate Irwin. She slashes it to the left side. It gets underneath the glove of the third baseman, and no chance to make a play. Everyone's safe. It's Kate's 3rd hit of the day, her 2nd of the infield variety. And once again, the Lady Hawks going to work with 2 outs. Runners at the corners now for Emily Pierre-Gustavo. And if Emily's able to drive Cormier in from third base, we would not play on to the 7th inning, as mercy rules would come into apply. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That is a tapper foul at the dish.
Milford should play all games, all innings with 2 outs. And they've done pretty much all their damage today with 2 outs.
It's certainly been a pattern for them in this game. Here's the 1-1 pitch. It's on the ground towards the left side. Dooley makes the play, makes the throw across the infield for the out that ends the inning. So Milford will take a 12-1 lead now into the top of the 7th inning. We'll see if Atherton comes back out to finish it off. Indeed, she will. The top of the 7th comes your way next here on Milford TV. 7th inning about to get underway. As Allie Atherton looks to finish this one off, it's a 12-1 lead for the Lady Scarlet Hawks. We do have a few defensive changes here in the top of the 7th inning. We'll let you know after the next pitch. That one offered at, the count goes to 1-1. Maddie Bonvino, who had been the designated player, comes in to take over at second base. That shifts Emily Pierre Gustavo to shortstop, so Jill Powers out of the game. The rest of the defensive alignment remains the same. 2 balls and 1 strike on the batter. Julia Izepik, the catcher. She has struck out twice, once looking, once swinging. But finds herself ahead in the count here, 3 balls and a strike.
Despite her offensive struggles today, she's done well on defense, limiting and controlling pass balls. Done a good job with Reisfelder handling the pitching staff.
There's a called strike 2, so that fills up the count. This is a tapper. It ricochets off the heel of the glove for Atherton, but she stays with it and gets the throw to Tommaso just in time to beat Izepik by a running step.
That was a very close play at first base. After the bobble, you might have thought she had a chance to be safe at first, but good recovery by Milford's defense, and they were able to get her. Just barely, though.
So 1 out and the base is empty, and a swinging strike 1. Grace Lahame, the pinch hitter. The third batter to occupy this number 7 spot in the batting order.
Atherton shuts her down, 1, 2, 3, 3 straight strikes.
A very quick strikeout, so that is the 6th K. Canton down to their final out. And the first pitch in is a called strike 1. Lindsay Burris, who had that nasty collision with the left field fence a few innings ago, still in the game, taking this at bat, now fouls the pitch away. That may have gotten a piece of Emily Hartman. Coach DeVito checking on her. That must have glanced off the shin pad. How does that feel on a day like this, Anthony? You would know.
It hurts. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot worse places you can get them. But
we won't go into those.
Well, I was talking about my shoulder. I wasn't talking.
Bring a little flavor to the end of the game now.
But yeah, that one hurts.
1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs, and the base is empty. Milford 1 strike away from their 12th victory of the year. Here's the pitch. It's popped up, playable on the infield. And the ball in and out of the mitt of the catcher, Hartman. Everyone on the infield trying to direct Hartman to that pop-up. Didn't stay in the air very long. It stays a 1-2 count.
Hartman did everything right on that play. She got rid of the mask. The only thing she needed to do was turn herself around, because with the backspin of that ball, it's going to come back the opposite way. She had to turn herself around, but it was a tough play nonetheless.
One more pitch for Atherton. She's able to get the swing and a miss for strike 3, and she ends the ball game with her 7th strikeout, and it puts the finishing touches on a dominating effort for the Lady Scarlet Hawks here today. They scored 7 runs in the bottom of the first inning, and it was really all academic from there. Milford goes on to win by a final score of 12-1. A great day at the plate, and also just a terrific day in the pitcher circle, Anthony, out of Allie Atherton.
Yeah, she really pitched well today. After that little bit of a shaky, rough start in the first inning, allowing a couple runners to get on, she really settled in and mowed down the rest of the Canton lineup. I mean, I saw good things out of both teams today, but at the end of the day, it's Milford coming out on top with a really dominating win, 12-1.
So again, Milford able to pick up their 12th victory of the season. They have 4 games remaining on their schedule, 2 of them on the road, 2 of them at home. Their next game comes away from Milford High School. It will come on May 18th in a matchup against Oliver Ames, a 4 o'clock start time, and then they're back here on Friday, May 20th, with a home game against the Mansfield Lady Hornets. That will be our next coverage of the Lady Hawks softball team. But that wraps up our coverage for today. A big thank you to Anthony Mazzini, Rob O'Keefe, Malcolm Zale, and Tim Ricidi. And I am Tim Coet. Your final score, one final time, 12-1. Milford takes down Canton. This has been a presentation of Milford High School Athletics here on Milford TV. So long, everybody.